We're here at Rosebud Farm with Leanne and Ellie, who have the glorious job of looking after this beautiful cut flower farm. One of the key components here are the dahlias.
Dahlias, yep.
And just on that, growing dahlias, here we've got a beautiful bed of dahlias, all different types of dahlias, various flower shapes, various colours. The way you grow these, what is the trick to getting them to look so good and vibrant?
In this section particularly, you'll notice that we're actually looking at more the collarette variety of dahlia. So it's more of a single petal variety. We actually don't use these dahlias in our cut flower bouquets. These ones are more for the bees and for the beautiful colour range that they provide. In regards to getting them to look so good, they're actually really big hungry eaters, the dahlia varieties. So a lot of natural fertilisers like your cow manure and all those rich fertilisers that will actually feed them a lot and help with that growth. And also there is a lot going on in a bush. There's multiple stems, so a lot of water as well. With the dahlia varieties. We also make sure that we have supports for the bigger, taller types as well. So this one, we've just got an upside down tomato stake wire framing. And what it does is just support the main flower heads from any wind damage as it grows. As you can see, the bits that aren't actually contained in the wire will break off and snap. So they are quite a moisture-driven stem. So when it comes to like a heavy wind, or if they get too heavy on top once the flower actually develops, that weight does topple them over. So having some kind of frame or support for the bigger varieties with the bigger heads, unlike this little variety here where it keeps within the 1 metre compact size as well. And obviously here on the farm as well, these particular types we just nurture and have them flowering, like I said, for the bees and for the looks and for the different varieties. But with our cut flower ones, we actually have a proper mesh frame.
Yeah.
So that stays, we usually do a double layer, so one around knee height and then again about waist height. So it just supports that single stem for that strong cut flower variety.
And that's something that home gardeners should be doing as well to support their dahlias, is use some sort of a frame.
Definitely.
One of the things I've done before in gardens with frames like this for aesthetics, so you can't really see them, is paint them black. And they just blend in.
Yeah.
You really don't notice it.
You wouldn't even know that it's there. Yeah.
And with your dahlias, you also don't lift them, the majority of them.
No. So there's a big process in lifting dahlia tubers. Once you actually take them out of the ground, clean them and store them and dry them and have them ready for the next season, it's actually quite a big process. The fact that one big clump of dahlia tubers can be divided up into a certain amount, and then each individual tuber has to be stored in the correct dry space. It takes up a lot of space, especially when you grow dahlias on such a big scope. So these sort of varieties, and any varieties that we don't want to try and propagate and get more of, we just leave them in the ground, just purely for purpose of just making it a lot easier for us. Easy maintenance. And also I still believe that they're getting just as much strength and nutrients from the soil, just leaving them in the ground where they're actually in their home environment.
And leaving them in situ, I think here too, we're in a temperate environment here in the Kiama LGA, so there really isn't a need to lift because we don't have overly wet winters. Where, Ellie, you're from the United Kingdom. Yeah, and you get those wet winters. So realistically, in the Northern Hemisphere, the majority of dahlias are lifted and stored.
If you were on a very heavy clay and not very free draining, you would 100% be lifting. If you also had the cold, it's that combination of the cold and the wet that just they don't like, turn to mush. But over here I'm loving it. Warm winters. I've not done a winter yet, so we'll see how it goes, but it just saves us so much labour to not have to lift. If you are worried about them, you can just tuck them in for the winter, put down any kind of mulch, a straw mulch, a wood chip mulch, and they'll just help tuck them in. In the UK, we might also put down some frost cloth, but I'm not sure if that's going to be necessary yet here. So we'll see.
Here it takes so long for it to go cold enough to almost make them go dormant. So we prune them back by thirds, every 2 weeks, just to get that process to happen a little bit quicker, because otherwise it extends the period out too long and they're not stored for long enough to create new eyes ready for the next season.
And we're now just heading into autumn proper with equinox. So you will start to see the flower production declining. You'll start to see the senescence of the foliage, and then that's your trigger.
Without that heat, without those really hot days, that sunshine, they don't really come out and flourish. So they definitely need that heat to really get those flowers to pop. Otherwise, we are looking at varieties now that can start becoming dormant early. We can start tucking them away, and then the nutrients will go into the ground, into the tubers, become stronger tubers for the next season.
So looking for something in your garden that's really going to pop, you can't go past dahlias, because just looking down through here, the scope of the range of colours that you have and the floral shapes, it's an absolute masterpiece. It's a beautiful piece of artwork.
Coming from a cut flower variety as well for florists during the summer period, without that huge range of colour, variety, size too. Dahlia heads can get up to a dinner plate size, down to pom-poms which are up to 5 centimetres. The range is just huge, and there's such a reliable vase-like flower for florists and for bouquets in the local community that, they're vital in a cut flower growing garden, definitely.
Sensational. Thank you so much for the opportunity to have a look at the production of dahlias at Rosebud.
Thank you.